And I'll share my screen. Okay. All right. So I'm just do it in here, just because I already have it up. I'm gonna just create a new file and I'll show you the difference between like the order or whatever. Close all of this. So I'll just put it in util. Yeah. All right. At the bottom or something. All right. So say we have a object, right? So order matters with this. Oh, let me put a few things in here. Name Isaiah. Last name Harrison. 2. And if we wanted to make like a new object, I'll show you the difference between like the order really quick. So the spread operator is like this. And let's say I wanted to say age, let's say 30, right? And I'm gonna do a console log of new object also. Let me zoom in real quick. So this is the object, and this is a new object using the spread operator. I think I have this open, but I'm not sure. I have this open. Yeah, I do. Let me do a refresh real quick. All right, so what did I name this? OBJ. If I do OBJ here, we can see object, the same one I just created. And if I do new object is here, we can see that age is 30, right? But let me switch it up. I should have actually did this new object 2, and I'm gonna switch the spots. Do a refresh. So we got object, we got new object, and we have new object 2, right? See the difference between new object and object 2? See, age is 30 here, but new object 2 is 32. And that's when the order comes in. So basically, the rules behind the spread operator is whenever you're using a spread operator, whatever comes last takes priority. So what this does is it dumps all of this stuff inside of there like this. But since age is last here, this is going to take priority. So it's going to remove this one from that. So that's why this one came out as 30. But if I do the same thing here, right? If I dump everything in there like that, now this age is last. So we're gonna get rid of this one because the last one takes priority. And that's why this one is 32. And with did it answer your question basically?
Yeah. But with the arrays, the order once you add the joint, it'll just add on to the beginning, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So the arrays to A1, A2. I do A. So it's different. So with the arrays is a little different because we can have, so in objects we can't have the same key. Like we had age and we had got rid of one because the other one took priority, right? You can't have two. This is going to give us an error. We can even like see, like if we do this, it's going to give us an error. But with objects, but with arrays, you can have the same like numbers and stuff like that. So these two are going to be the exact same, but in different orders. Let me show you that in the browser. So we got A, which is that array, A1. Actually, let me this is gonna look exactly the same. Let me do A, B, C instead of numbers. B, then C. I'll put that here. Refresh. A is 1, 2, 3. A1, we can see 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, because we had here 1, 2, 3 is this, A, B, C is here. And then A2 is ABC 1, 2, 3, because ABC was first. Okay, ABC is first. And then we drop in the 1, 2, 3. So We basically
Gotcha.
just add that in. So yeah, that was a good question. And it's good to know the difference between these because like something like this, like using these objects that can cause like bugs. Like people can use a spread operator and not realize, okay, why didn't age get replaced how I wanted it to replace? And it's because the order. So yeah.
Yeah, even looking at the console, like when you edit the object, the last item goes like on top in the display list, like when you do the little drop down,
Like
but
for
it adds to the last part in like the original. You know what I mean? Like so it just kind of look funny.
yeah, for the object you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you click on the display list, you know what I'm saying? Like you can see
Um,
like the little drop down. Like it just kind of looks funny.
okay. Um, what do you like? What do you mean like look funny as in like hold on, let me so okay. Um so this is still in alphabetical order, but you're saying like this part looks funny, this prototype thing, or I don't know if I'm
No,
overthinking.
you're good. You got it, bro. You got it, bro. It's cool. Cause I don't want to get up and get confusing and stuff like that. I got it.
Yeah, but this means something though. This prototype thing. I don't think I taught what that meant, but like I don't want to get into this yet.
Okay, no
um,
worries.
yeah. So any other questions? Because like let me see if there's anything in the chat. Good morning, T. I didn't see. Yeah. No subject. But yeah, any other questions from anybody?
So I do have a question. It may be a little bit far out, but I got an error using the fetch operator. The error is so weird that I don't really.
You have it up right now?
Do I have it up? Nah, but I can.
What was
I
the
can
area?
do that shortly though. Like, hold on. I'm gonna try to see if I can quickly pull this thing up.
Okay. Cool.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
All right. So while you pull that up real quick, I'm gonna quickly show something I was working on. Remember, I was saying that remember that last project I said I was gonna put, and then I think I said last week that I deleted it by accident. The one with the samurai and the ninja. Well, I redid it, and it looks a little better actually. I'm actually doing like animations. So last and I still gotta this is gonna be after the Crud because I think it's just a fun thing to just do or whatever. The last one was basically I had hit a button and I chose the attack, defense, and speed of each, and then they started like attacking each other. This one is a little bit different. Basically like
Oh wow.
the attack the attack speed and defense, it has to add up to 100. And I think it was the same restriction the first time around. But here, like let's say I put 41, like because this adds to 100 perfectly. If I put 41 here, it drops back down to 0. So this teaches us how to control input elements. So I'm restricting this to be 100. And let me do what's that? Actually, let's switch this up a little bit. 30, 30, and 40. Okay. And when I hit battle, you're gonna see something a little bit different. Like they're actually like animating. The first time around, I think yeah, I was like when they were getting hit, I was like putting like a red screen. But this time I have like a small animation, and they're just gonna keep battling each other until one of them dies, basically. Um, this teaches how to like animate more with CSS, so and JavaScript also. And as soon as we get a winner here,
I found my I got the error up, by the way, whenever you're ready.
cool. All right, but yeah, as soon as we get a winner up, it says like which person won, and I'm still working on like the details of this also. So, but yeah, this is going to come after the Crud, and then we'll jump into React, and this will be a quick one. But go ahead, you can share your screen, Chad.
All right, so yeah, this is the code right here. Access to fetch, blah blah blah. The origin node
Oh,
has been blocked.
yeah. I figured that's what I figured what it was. Cores. Okay, so
What does that do? How did you fix it?
yeah. Um so with so I'm not like I've gotten this error a few times. And every time I get it, I'm like, what is going on? Like last time I read about this error, basically it says like it's basically restricting you from accessing something online.
Hmm.
Uh, and the reason it does that is because it knows that you're not like an actual server. It knows that you're like a computer. Like they only want servers to talk to servers or whatever. Now it's weird because you're using the Crud API and they're supposed to let you use like have your computer talk to their server or like communicate with their server. Um, did you check? So I'm not sure why you're getting this, but did your API key run out by chance? Like, did
No,
you
it was
check
brand new when I was using it. It
brand?
probably ran out now, but
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the problem because sometimes,
yeah, I still got 12 more hours on it.
yeah, and is you don't have no request at all.
Done. I was trying to get a request. That was going to be my first one.
Yeah, go back to the error really quick. Okay. Let me see your code. I'm wondering if it's something in
Oh,
there.
yeah, the code. Oh, the code. The code.
Is up
Is
just a fetch. All right, so I see the fetch. You put the URL, you put the data, you could method post, accept JSON content, put the body in there. Body is item and price, product ID, selected price. Okay. D.json.then. Yeah, that's fine. Console log. Um, yeah. So everything looks good.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
get paste in your API key really quick. I'm gonna just try it on my side. I just want to see what's gonna happen.
It's going to work. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. If you go to however you want to.
There we go.
Actually, go to the my bad. Go to the network tab really quick in the dev tools. Yeah. Expand
Is
that.
that my computer?
What's up?
That's your
What? Who is the Caucasian man?
Who's the Caucasian man? I don't know.
Is,
The man
is
from the
that me?
Caucasus Mountains.
what sharing the screen.
Yeah, this your screen. I'm kidding. No, it's not. It's mine.
Do a refresh real quick because the request don't show unless you refresh it. Let me see. Try. All right. So go. So I guess you can try to open up the try to make that request again to Crud. Did you make it automatically or you had to press something on your end?
Oh yeah, I had to press something.
Go ahead. You
Yeah,
can.
my code isn't complete or accurate actually at this point.
Okay, hold on. Before you do that, actually, yeah, just go to the network tab real quick. Yeah. Expand it. All right, go. I guess scroll all we. All right, so at the bottom we have. All right, and got. All right, just do a refresh one more time, real quick, and then I want you to clear the network tab. So there's a red button, and right next to it is like a circle with the X. No, it's the other one you want to press. Yeah, that one. All right, so now try to press those buttons real quick. I just wanted to clear up all of like the extra noise or whatever. Okay. All right. So when you press the load products button, it didn't make an API call.
It did not.
Okay. So you can see you got a 415. Click on store inside of the network tab, that red one. Go to headers. Yeah. So we got for our API key, the API key there, store post 415. let me see what 415 means. That's another one of those status codes. Remember last time I told you about 200, 404, and 500. 415 is another one, but I'm not sure what it does. Let me see.
Strict origin when cross origin.
Oh, okay, which explains why we get that in the console.
Connection, keep alive.
Yeah, all right. So pasting your API here key real quick.
It's enough.
Okay, you already put it. Well, let me try it on my end.
It may be because I'm not using the GET request, but I thought you could just post without having to necessarily.
Yeah, you
even-
should. Yeah, post should go through. Let me
regardless.
pull up my code.
Origin, no. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means.
All right. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Cool.
And I'm gonna just paste yours inside of mine, and I'm gonna just try it on my end.
It's gonna work.
So-
Here you go.
Hey, John, did you make the API key a variable?
I did. So even though I pasted in, it's actually pulling whatever's already in there.
Okay.
So if I was to change it, it would have pulled the value directly from there, not necessarily what I pasted in.
I got you.
I tested it a couple times.
Yeah, I know you was freaking out.
Big freaking.
I press load store and the get request works. Let me see if I can do a post request. So post request works also. Hold on. There's a post request here. Now, so there's something in the code that's not right because it works on my end.
I think it's just my whole code is trash.
Let me quickly show you.
I have a feeling I know why my code doesn't work, and then I'll let you know why when you get ready.
And all right, so you had this method post, you had the headers here.
Yep.
And oh wait, did you do JSON.stringify on the body?
I did.
Okay.
I defined the body outside of the fetch.
Yeah. And then you did JSON.stringify and you put
did.
body inside. And the values you put was you put something, but this don't really matter, that stuff inside of there. Let's see. Got then JSON. Okay. All right, share your screen one more time. I'm gonna stop sharing. Let's see if I can spot anything. And we'll try something else. I also want you to log what body is, like right after you define it. Yeah, like right there. Just want to make sure we actually get something in there. So we got method, header, stringify, body. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, you can try it again.
Let's do it.
All right, go to your console real quick. Chips and price. This is so weird that hold on. Go to your network tab again. Yeah. Click on store. And like we definitely didn't like mess up this API key, right? Like you copy and pasted that.
Yeah. Those
Okay.
are straight copy paste.
Okay.
Start with 3, end with A. Start with 3, end with A. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just comparing my screen with your screen. So we have that.
Oh, when I tell you, yeah, our codes are extremely different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
let me. I see one difference, but I don't think that difference should matter. Let me see if I can replicate what I see on your screen.
Would you want me to go back to the code?
No, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna do something on my side. Store and ID. Okay, let me try this. See that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. You might have to can you send me that actually? Like just send me like I guess you can just drop it in the and I'll look at it while y'all work on the
What's the name of that dang on site?
let me paste in the drive link. You can just drop it in there.
Okay, because I was gonna say that was another site. What was it called? No, that's WordPress. Fiddle, Jazz Fiddle.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. All right. So you're gonna try it there. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Nah, when you
Oh,
get to
you
looking at,
you
huh?
may need the whole thing. I don't think you should put the whole. Yeah. So you copied all your JavaScript. Oh, so you're gonna copy all your JavaScript, all your CSS, and like all your. You're gonna put the whole thing in there.
Oh yeah, the JavaScript don't change though. It's it's
Yeah.
just you dig the code that I've changed, but oop,
Cool.
main.css.
It's a good idea, just to make sure it's not like. If you press run, yeah. Hmm. Oh, because there's images and stuff that need to be loaded. Maybe it's running
Oh,
through errors and all that stuff not in there. Yeah, get rid of the CSS. You can just delete the CSS. Well, no, it's probably I don't know
yeah, I was
how
gonna say
with that.
it's gonna look real different.
Yeah, and it's not going. It's probably not going to come out right either way because you still got to show the project. So yeah, I was saying basically, if you, I don't think you can put the images in there too.
Uh-oh. See, now we getting,
Teach me something if you can do that because I
look,
don't. You can do that.
now I don't think, uh-oh. Links, license, and all that good stuff. Resources, URL, JavaScript, nah. Nah, I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, if you go to your just go to your. Oh wait, it just loaded. I guess it took a long time to load.
It doesn't have any of your pictures or nothing in there.
Right, it's all good. So if you, I guess you can try to enlarge that box there. You can like minimize the CSS and yeah. Does it collapse at all?
Oop, not doing that. Normalize CSS. Nah, that may be like a whatchamacallit. Oh,
That's just
tidy.
hmm.
Nope, that's format. All right, yeah, we just gonna do it the original way. Simplest.
Hmm. Good
Get
idea.
back. Oh, yeah, get back ID is not defined because I'm using
You got to throw in the util.js at the
yeah, I
bottom.
do.
Yeah.
I do gotta do that. Let's see. JS Fiddle go. There
Oh,
we go.
you can just paste it at the bottom of your or no at the top
At the
of your
top.
chapter. Yeah.
Run.
No, that shouldn't work because it don't know like you have to actually copy all the code. It doesn't know like your computer.
My gosh, that's okay. All right. Why it's acting like a stranger? It and my computer's been good for a long time. Huh? There we go. Ending on 56. Now let's try it again. Now running. Why are you running? Why are you?
It probably just take a long time to load. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
because let's I mean, I don't know how to do the fiddly fid where I send it and then it.
I know what you mean. To share it. Yeah, collaborate. Yeah, there you go.
My gosh. Cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, you can just do it from there then. Let's see if we can. Oh yeah, you're gonna give me that link so I can look at it, right?
C. Oh shoot, I could have did that on the JS Fiddle page. That's funny. I'm learning from you, Teach. I'm learning.
All right. Let me run it on my side.
Oh, you can actually talk and all that stuff too. Look at that. Yeah, that's different. Could carry his giraffe. That's funny. Ooh, what is my name?
Just waiting
Now,
for
if
it.
you look at my code, you'll see how, oh my gosh, what is this? It is. It's very not what you have.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on it to show up on my side. Yeah, click show projects real quick. See what nothing happens. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy all your JavaScript. Like I'm just copy the whole thing, minus the util stuff, and I'm gonna paste it on my side to see if it works.
Yeah, 60 is where is that? Can I find editor child and child? Ooh, wee. Container only has 2 elements. Ooh, there's a lot going on that I don't understand.
I'm gonna help you out with this too. You put Java instead of JavaScript.
Thank you, Google is giraffe. A giraffe.
All right, you paste in your code. See if this works. Did not work. I'm pasting your CSS. Your HTML also.
I was gonna say, just remember my JavaScript start at 60. The util.js is above that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna copy it again to make sure I copied it right. Delete, paste. Let me get all your HTML.
The HTML should be the same, unless.
Yeah, because when I tried it on my side, I couldn't even press that load store button. So it was something that's definitely wrong or different. Still can't press it. What is going on?
I hope it ain't a thing of me accidentally opening or using the wrong starter file.
Wait, did you change the load store?
Remember what I had said, that I didn't use the exact same code you did. No, I'm switching IDs and such, real real flagrant stuff, you know?
API key is not. Oh, you put it as a variable too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. API key. Wait, if you put it as a variable, I copied all your code. API key is not defined. Store to. Where'd you put your API key at? Is it inside of your job?
Global API key value.
Oh,
Unless I didn't copy it in there.
yeah, you didn't copy that. I don't see it.
Oh, I did not. Ha 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 ha. Oh, there you go. Now you should have everything.
Cool.
Yeah, because instead of pressing Control A, I decided to press something else.
All right.
Or do something else, I should say. Pressing the right buttons.
Let's try this again. Let's see.
Still getting errors?
Close store. Okay, so I got the course error you got. So it's definitely a coding thing. Now let me look at this and try to figure out why it's doing that. We have fetch, we have URL, what's URL? Oh, wait, is this right? Hold on. Yeah, API crud.com. Okay, API.
Like in there.
This HTTP API key. Oh, okay, yeah. I think I see. Oh no, resource. You have resource here. Never mind. Your resource is store.
I was
Okay.
gonna say whenever you ready, go hit me with the Shirley share.
So your URL is good.
What's the sharing? I didn't start getting busy with the ID yet, but
I literally put like your code like next to my code, so I can just compare to. I'll share my screen actually while I debug. Just so y'all can see what I'm doing. So I literally I put my code inside of util.js and I have his code here. So what I'm looking at to try to debug this is, where is it? Is this here, this add, because this add function, because this is what's called whenever
I
we
press the add button.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have this data here, and in my case, it is here.
You got a whole.
Yeah. So I have our data is here. I'm gonna switch mine out just like you have yours. See, you have. Oh wait, is that? I don't know. You're good with that. So we got data. All right, let me do what you did. So data. So that's the wrong one. It's not updating.
Right, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's that one.
It's ID. So JSON body is here. No, this is the update. This is the one we don't update. Okay. So let me data here. So data. And we got, you separate out your body also. So let me do body here. Method, headers, content type JSON, body, JSON.stringify. We have this fetch. You put your URL directly in there. I use a different method of doing
Yeah,
it.
cool, better function. That makes more sense because now I can switch my ID, which is another thing I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Did not work.
Data dot then
I gotta understand.
JSON dot then item here. I honestly don't even need this one. Yeah, it's so weird because everything looks good. Like there, but there's clearly something that's off. So what I'm gonna do, that's what I'm gonna do. Let me put all this back. All of this whole util file. Okay, save this. So I'm gonna just put a debugger. That's how I would debug it if I was at work. So debugger and here, let's put one, hit the debugger, got data. Okay, the body is definitely JSON. We have header, except application JSON, content type, application slash JSON. We have method as post. The URL looks fine. Yeah, that's fine. So we got data, we got this. Let me put the debugger here. Just don't go through.
It stops at the fetch and it says from the queue.
Okay. Method headers.
Now, the flagrant thing that I'm doing is I'm changing the ID of each of those of the choices. Like I'm swapping out IDs.
Of the of these. What do you mean?
Yep. Of those. So
In
because
this,
you're go ahead.
you said the IDs for these, right? But I
Yep.
mean, you don't need the IDs yet because we just posting.
No, I mean like the div ID. The
Oh.
ID of the div is being switched. So I switch it for a placeholder. And then I use that placeholder and basically I take the ID of the div, use that to identify the div, swap its ID with placeholder, and then I change the div of selected product to the ID of the div of choice. Then running everything that I need to run, and my reset ID function switches the div back.
So basically, let's simplify this, right? So with the with all of this, right? Like, none of this stuff matters. Like, let's just delete all of that stuff. Like, so we can get rid of all of the complexity. The only thing we to simplify this, only thing we need to worry about is like what we're putting inside of the fetch. Like all of like the tricks and stuff you do in your code and the way you're like doing it, like is like it all boils down to what we're placing inside of fetch.
Yeah.
So I'm a so we put the URL there. We got the body here, and I'm just gonna put this. I'm gonna just put this in here just to actually I'll just keep it. I'll keep it outside. This is exactly what we putting in here, right? URL, body, and data.
Right.
And I'm just gonna get rid of all of this. Like this stuff is irrelevant. I see what you, like reset ID. Like I'm not even gonna go through all those complexity. So if I save this, we should still get the core's error because this is what that's where the error came from.
Yep, that's what should happen.
All right, so we
Yep.
still get the error here, which is good because we know that we replicated the exact same stuff. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy all of this stuff and I'm gonna compare it to what I had did. I'm just copy this whole function. I'm just gonna do a Control Z to get back everything I had originally. Save that. Put your add function next to mine. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is your add function. This is my add function. I'm just gonna comment mine out real quick. And we should get the exact same thing. It's just gonna be redundant. But I'm just doing this just to check. Obviously, I did make a GET request, but it's fine because we still get the core's error. So, so we're here, and now I'm gonna comment yours out, and then I'm gonna simplify my add function, just like I had did yours. Let me put this back in before I comment the other one back out. So this is yours commented out, and I'm gonna simplify mine. We have, I don't even think let me put a debugger in here real quick, just so I can get all the values out. Refresh. Check that out. Play. One. Okay, cool. So by the time we get to this fetch, we have, I'm just copy all of this and then put all the values in. Let me do that here. We have this. We have value of 1, and we have this. We're putting this in there. Okay, so that, and this value is 1. And this is, should say data. Yeah. So that's data, and the URL, I'm gonna get that also. I'm just gonna go into that function and get the return value, which I already know what it is, but I'm gonna just copy it. So return value is here. So that's the URL. Okay, so we got the URL, and we got that, and I'm gonna delete all the extra stuff, just so we can get rid of all of the complexity. This is like a strategy to use too, like, because sometimes a lot of code can be confusing, trying to figure out what interacts with what and what could it potentially broke what. We just want to simplify it because this is the only things that actually matter. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna put data in here. Now this should still work. I'm just gonna put a debugger here. Actually, I'm just do a console log item. So my hope is that this still works, and if this still works, I'm gonna just start swapping out the stuff you got with the stuff that I have until we find a difference. Just a
One of these things are not like the other. One of these things don't fit.
Right. So this should still work. Did it work? Yeah, so I console logged it. I didn't update the thing. I just console logged it. So it still worked. Let me delete some of these actually, because I don't want to mess up anything. All right, so that still worked. Now let me start comparing these two. Open this up.
Wait, so your update button works with your add button?
I have put delete. So I still got all the same stuff that my app had. The only thing I switched out was that this on add function. I put on add 2 here, so we won't get this error. But yeah, all my other code still works. But this is the only code we want to test.
Yes.
Let me put these next to each other. Now, the only difference is that slash at the end, but that slash shouldn't matter. So everything is highlighting. So we know all of this stuff is exactly the same. The URL is the same, minus the slash, but it doesn't matter.
I was gonna say, go on, take it out and see if it. I mean, just for the sake of doing it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it. Let me see. So we still log it, so it's still good. If I was to refresh this, we'll see it on the shelf. So that part is good. Now let's get this. Let's match this all up. So let's see. So I'm just going to put this here because that's what that is. I'm gonna just compare these two. We got method, post, headers. Oh, headers with an S. Wow.
Ah. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I knew it was going to be
Gotcha.
something small. Now let me put everything.
Oh boy. Don't tell. If that was the only thing that slowed me down, was the dang on S.
Headers. I'm gonna try yours again. I'm gonna take this out. I commented mine out, so yours should work now. Yeah,
Man, that's crazy. This is a little ass, bro.
yeah.
Here you go. And it says something about the header too.
Yeah,
So
we're good.
it says something about the header too. I should have looked closer. My
Hey.
heart.
Hey, Isaiah, what's chords, man?
Cores. I think. Let me see. I don't want to give you like a. So cores error. This is very common.
Cross origin request block.
Yeah, cross origin resource sharing is a standard that allows servers to relax the same origin policy. This is like some backend stuff, so I'm not completely sure. See, if course configuration isn't set up correctly, the browser console will present an error like this, which is let me see.
So yeah, my configuration wasn't set right.
Man. So it makes sense if it's
Wrong stuff.
It's basically server talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay. It couldn't share with each other.
Right. So yeah, it was definitely the configurations.
My gosh.
So yeah.
But it was that S though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the S. The S.
That's crazy.
All that talking I did. And it was the S. I'm glad you found it. That's what's up.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, I know, so it's almost 11, but it's fine. We got through like a debugging session. I don't see Sharik on because he was supposed to share.
Smart man.
Yeah. So if somebody else want to share,
hey, you roasted up that whole thing.
Oh, look at Tisa with the big volunteer.
did.
Big T.
Yeah. We didn't get too far last time, so like it'll be pretty much from scratch either way.
I'm scared of doing it my way now. Shoot. I'm swapping out IDs and all that crap. There's a slicker way to do it.
All right, so yeah, y'all can, I guess, decide amongst yourselves. But yeah, we're gonna continue. Whoever wasn't there on Tuesday, I'm not sure, but we're basically doing the Crud store. So we just gotta do it as a class, basically. So who has not shared?
Tisa said she willing to do it.
Okay.
In the comments.
Okay. All right. Cool. I see it. Yeah. All right, Garcia, you can share
Big T.
whenever you're ready. Obviously. It's funny because like I have two brothers that's in the class that live in the same house. When I said Sharik couldn't come up, the other brother dropped off the call. So they both and he literally just dropped off. Like, call him later on and try to figure out what's going on. Like, why y'all not?
Yeah, the lack of desire for the smoke is probably what caused him to drop. I too would have ducked and covered.
Yeah. Because he knew he was coming next. I was going to say his name next. So he knew.
He said, I know my brother too well.
Right. I know he coming to me next. Right. I'm out of here.
Right.
Visual stimulating code.
Hello.
Greetings.
All right.
And what?
So we're Store.js is the one we left off.
It's here, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's two above time.js. You see time. So Store.js is in the
What?
order.
I'm sorry. It's time.js.
It's in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
So all those yellow files that you was looking at,
What did I do?
scroll down or scroll up. You got to scroll down. Oh, whoa. There's a lot going on over there. Hey.
It's above the time.js.
Right at the end, you got tic-tac-toe. One above it is store.
Okay. Did I do that? What did I do?
You know, you got a blank screen. That's perfect.
Oh,
That's where they're supposed to be.
okay.
I'm going to take a back seat on this one.
What? Is it like?
The Ron Diamond special. Talib. You guys are up.
Yeah, I'm here.
You got to set up that API key first, right? With Crud.
Whoops. You say you have to set up here or?
Don't you got to go to Crud to get the API key first?
Oh, shit.
I think you may have
So it's
an old version.
crud.com.
You may have an old version of the code, though. You may have to download the new starter for the Crud store.
I got to download the new starter for the Crud store.
Yeah, because you're using the old one.
How you know?
The button to load store says create item instead of load store. That may have been like the first iteration of the store, but it now says load store. Even in the video, it says load store, so it got to be a different version.
So where would I go to get that at?
The Udemy course, udemy.com, or you can click the second one next to YouTube.
I'm kind of embarrassed where I'm at in the video, so don't judge me.
Too late, but don't worry. Don't worry. I'll stop judging right afterwards.
I'm not going to judge no more.
You gonna judge no more? That's cold.
Nah, it's all love.
The judgment
Damn.
just ended.
You know, I'll be watching the videos over and over, okay, so I can get it.
That's why we respect you.
So I will go all the way up.
All the way to the bottom, one up. That's it.
This is
Mm-hmm. Now, yep, that one, the resources, and then download the starter code.
put in the zip file or the design PDF.
The zip file. The design PDF is just a picture of, how it's supposed to react, how it's supposed to act. And then he coded.
So is
using
that
the
like
picture.
is that what PDF means? I
No,
don't mean to ask a
PDF
stupid question, but I don't know what it means.
No, PDF is a file type that is associated with PDF files, of course, but they use Adobe PDF and all those type of programs to open it. It's not a picture file, but it's not a Word document file that's editable, unless you use certain programs, and then you can't edit the text in that file. It's hard for me to explain further than that because I don't know exactly what the acronym PDF stands for or what that file type actually means, but yeah. Bet. So you're gonna extract all and then put it somewhere where you know. Okay, download, fair enough. Cool. Now you can take that Crud starter
Mhm.
and drag it in the VS Code, excuse me.
I don't have no patience. I should have waited. Shit.
Drag and drop.
You say drag it?
Yeah, you can drag the folder over and hover it over VS
Fam,
Code.
like how many times did I open this shit?
Portable document format. Look at that. Thank you, Diamond.
What happened?
Now PDF stands for portable document format.
Oh, okay. I never do.
Me either. I don't know if I really wanted to know at that point. But now I wanted to know because I was trying to tell you, and Diamond helped.
So did I do it? Did it do it? Did I do it?
That's a good question. So I'm gonna ask you to do me a huge favor.
Mhm.
Go to file.
Well, what?
File
Here?
in the upper left hand corner of the screen.
Oh. Oh,
Upper left hand, not right.
right here.
Yep. And then new file. The first one. My gosh. No, okay. No, go to file. I think it may be new window. Give me what I want. No, yes, maybe, no. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, now X out the other one, and we're gonna use this one. Yeah, you can save it if you wanted to. I was gonna say, I don't know what you did in the. Yeah. All right, bet. And then now we can drag and drop it into that window. And now it'll be fresh and clean and not confusing. So go to your actual Windows file at the bottom, the folder icon.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Look how many times I.
No, you want to.
That's
No,
so
you want to
odd.
open up the that Crud starter. One of them either way. Yeah, I guess as long as it's that's not extracted. Click downloads. Don't extract it again. You don't have to. You can cancel that. Click downloads on the left side of your window. This PC, 3D object, desktop, documents, downloads already highlighted.
Wait. Okay. Damn.
There you go. Working on it. Now, at the bottom of the today section, you have an extracted Crud starter. You can drag and drop that into the window.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. No, you would have dragged and dropped it into the open window, not the icon.
Sorry.
It's all good. We just gonna load up another window. We'll take it.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll take it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. There it is. All right. Oof. You can exit
Right here.
getting started and click the whatchamacallit, that one.
Oh.
That tab, yeah. The Mac OS don't matter. OS. Which I don't even think I use the Crud starter because I don't even got the extra code. I think I was using the wrong dang on file myself.
Were you really, or are you just trying to make me feel better?
No, I was really using the tic-tac-toe starter file. And I think I was using the one we was trying to where he introduced the bugs and we was trying to debug that mug. So yeah, I was doing the whole wrong thing. Click your arrow on the left for starter. Or Crud starter. Click that arrow to the left for what you got highlighted. Right there. Yeah, click that. There we go. Click the JS arrow. Or JS, one or two. And then click store. And it's in alphabetical order. All right, bet. We're going to close that other window, not the one that we're in. We're going to close the other window, hit the X on that mug, and then get that out the way. And then big up the screen that you got open already. Yeah. Just like that one. All right, cool. Now let's get coding. So we gotta fix the load button. And what he did was so freaking cool. It's ridiculous. Yeesh. I'm trying to be like him, like, bro. Anyway, so we got to fix the load button. The load button is supposed to get the items from the server and display it. It's supposed to hide the screens that are showing and then pull up the help text and the 4 items that we're selecting. That's what it's supposed to do. It's also supposed to hide the little red text as well, but based on the pictures. But you know, that'll happen eventually. So anybody know how to do that? Anybody gonna help?
Hey, you got it, dog. You're doing a great job, man.
Now it's time for you guys. It's your go. I'm hopping out.
Wait. What he was doing yesterday?
Yesterday I was working on the add button, but I'm doing something totally different than what he was doing. And it was probably totally wrong, honestly, but I was doing it though.
How do I move this up top from here?
What you talking about?
The whole like share string thing is like green. How do I move that from up top?
You said the was green.
This is like a whole thing here.
You gotta use your pointer because I can't see what there and here is until you use your pointer to point at it.
Right here.
Oh, you talking about your
those share screen
sharing
bar
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you click it, then you're gonna have 3 dots on the right hand side, or if you hover over it, there's 3 dots on. No, hover over the little middle of the screen.
Okay. Oh,
You talking
okay.
about for
So,
the Zoom call, right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hover over the middle of the screen, like directly in the center of your screen, what you are sharing screen thing is, the little green tab is, and then that whole tab is gonna drop down. There's
my
3 buttons
friend.
on the right. Mhm.
Okay.
There's 3 buttons on the right hand side. Those 3 buttons can be clicked, and then there's a hide something button, and you can hide it.
Okay.
Not this one. You talking about for the Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the center of your actual screen.
Yeah, I see it.
Like,
Okay. It went up. Okay, so how did you get the code from this yesterday?
how
Like,
do I?
you was doing this yesterday, right?
Maybe.
So,
I just sound like somebody said, yeah. Yes, I was.
okay, so
My current is talking in the background. So we gotta format the load button.
right.
Mm-hmm. We can start though.
Okay.
All right.
I
Okay.
know.
Oh,
Okay, I'm a little lost. Okay. So
All right. Let's see. Let's
There you
start
go.
by getting the website. Or y'all want to start with the load and which one y'all want to
Yeah,
start with?
go
Yeah, I
get the
feel like-
website.
Yeah, get the website first. And let's copy that. So go to crud.com. I think you already had it up.
Big diamond, let's go. Give her them directions.
what? Shit.
Oh no.
Crud.
Yeah, I guess type it. Yeah, type it in right there. crud.com.
Create, update, reset, delete. Create, update, reset.
Create, read, update, delete.
Oh yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Oh my God.
I just now got that.
Yeah, he said in the video. I think he said in the video, or
Yeah,
somebody
he
else.
said in the video.
Yeah.
He says it in the video. What?
Oh, actually, it's on the site. It's written on the site at the bottom. Once you go on there, it'll
It's
say
crud
it.
written 2 times, not crud once. Get out of there. Don't do that.
Oh.
Get out. Back out. Back out is not secure.
Oh.
Something wrong with Jennifer.
That was hot. That was too
Not
hot.
secure.
Crud written twice, so it's crud.
Yeah,
Crud.
crud.com.
Type it in your URL.
Mhm. Or is it like spaced or together?
No, all URLs have no spaces.
Really?
Yup.
I did not know that.
They use underscores and stuff like that, hyphens, but no
There we
spaces.
go.
Also, this is the one
Create,
you got.
read, update, and delete.
This is the one you was getting yesterday.
All right, copy that whole entire thing. Yeah.
The whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Vietnam and shut up and sit in the back.
And I go back to VS Code.
Yes. Yep. And just copy that in that storage.js, just so we have it.
Did I do something wrong? Everything turned red.
Now, that's fine. Now you gotta put the value of that API key within the input box, but was that in HTML? I think you can find it. Yeah. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, go to that HTML file. Open that one up too. Right after whack-a-mole at the bottom. Yeah. All right, where is it? Go down a little bit. Oh, go down to Crud store first. Yeah. I think it was like 300 and something. 300.
Try 335.
There you go. Thanks, sure.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, so that value, delete that. It says ID type placeholder value. Where you see value at, delete all of that. And
P class. I just say panel, hold up. Sorry. This right here.
Yes, yeah. Delete that. And you're gonna replace that with the API key that you just got from the Crud store. You're gonna put that there. Yeah, and just, does she have to erase the HTTP part? I think she do.
Yes.
Okay, so erase HTTP all the way to API, the beginning of it. HTTP where you just paste in the value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, erase that part all the way up until API. So it should just be the numbers in the back left. Yeah, erase
Just
that.
the number is back, so I already erased like HTTP, API, all of it.
Don't forget the quotation marks after you're done.
Double
Mama.
quotations, right?
Come on. Yo, Judah,
either
come
or.
on. You can't keep these little toys on the floor. She gonna put it in her mouth. Here. Make sure it's nothing left on the floor, okay, buddy?
Just kidding.
I don't know. That's a good question. Be careful, mama. All right, sorry, guys. That wasn't on me. Okay, go back to your store. Wait, hold on. All right, go to the council on the document. Were we actually working on? Go back to the Crud store on Chrome. Yeah. All right, go to the council and press load store to see if it reveals any errors.
You gotta make sure that you're using the right index, because I have a strong feeling that it's not the correct one. The path isn't. Yeah, the path isn't correct. The folder that she's using is in her downloads folder. So go back to Visual, go back to your VS Code. Back to your VS Code, yeah. Go.
So that wasn't supposed to do that.
No, you good. Scroll down to your index.html. I wonder if you can do it from the tab. Let me see something real quick. Can you do it from the tab? Yeah. So go to your index tab, right click it.
Right here, right?
No, right click the actual tab that says index.html.
Oh,
Go down to copy path. Shift
copy
key.
path.
Yeah,
I'm
click
sorry.
it.
I don't know what
You
I'm
go to it, hit that copy path and click it. Just copy path. Yep. Then go back to your browser.
Little girl, goodbye. Go ahead.
And then copy that in. Or paste that in, I'm sorry. Paste that into your URL.
Hey.
Up here?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Highlight all that, erase it, and then paste over, or paste over it and go. You can click paste and go.
I don't think I did that correctly.
Neither.
Paste.
And then hit
And press enter.
Mm-hmm.
You did it.
What did you just do?
You'll see in a minute.
So what?
There you go. So I connected your file to the browser. So the file that the index.html that you're working from, the folder that you're working from is now being displayed. Other than that, you would have been displaying some other folder, and then you would have been making changes and not seeing them, and you would have been wondering why. And that would have been because you're referencing another folder in your URL. And you're not making changes to the files in that folder. You're only making changes to the files in another folder, in the folder that you're working in now. So we just had to link it to the right file. That's it. That's
All right, so from there, go to council. Oh, actually, hold on, sorry. No, go to press the show projects and let me see the Crud store from there. Bro, who the fuck is banging on my door like that? What are we doing? Oh, Russ, I'm playing. Play too much.
I'll call an error.
Gotta set up that little store button. Function.
Encore error.
Go
Where
to,
does that?
Go to council so we can see what errors coming up.
She already got the console pulled up. It's at the bottom. She got an elements tab at the top and then a console tab at the bottom, which is kind of cool. I don't know how she did that, but that kind of sick.
Oh,
Yeah, different.
Oh,
Don't ask me how. I can tell you.
It's okay. Let me see. Uncalled type error. Load store is not a function, so we got to make load store a function.
Okay, so when this happens, right? So that tells you it's at line. Does this tell you it's on line 503? So what is the 88 for?
Is line 3. It's on line 351. I think that 88 is like it references the line. Oh, let me see. I don't want to lie to you. Hold on. What's on line 88? 988. Div right hat. Heck no. That wrong. Maybe 88
Would have been
lines
cool
code.
if it did point to that. What is the 88 for though?
So the 88 is how many spaces over it is in online.
Also, it pinpoints it.
Yeah, so it's on line 351, but if you go over 88 spaces, it's going to tell you exactly where it is.
Oh.
Yeah, the 88
Interesting.
versus the vertical.
So it's right here.
Yeah, I mean it's load store, but like there must be like 88 spaces on that whole line. I wouldn't worry so much about like the 88 part because like no one really like counts the lines or whatever, but like the spaces over. So
Somebody counts the lines somewhere.
Let's start counting the lines.
You're a new line counter.
What is he doing? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to you. Did you know there were 100 lines in that code where your issue took place?
You laughing? Somebody doing that right now.
I wouldn't doubt it. He probably wasting time though. Hey.
Oh yeah, he is. But that makes sense. So now I know when I do it, I know where to find it.
All right, yeah. So we got to get that load button set up.
Create that load function. Load store function.
Nope.
We gotta write the code for it in store.js.
In store. Here?
Hi.
Yeah.
No, not here.
Yes. C.
Well, so what do I like? Press enter?
Yeah, so go to the second line and right, load store, const, load store, right in the function. Mama, come on.
Do I put the equal sign? Do I put the brackets?
Do load store then equal brackets.
Yeah. I spelled that wrong. Okay. Load store. Did I do that right?
Gotta
Capital
capitalize
S.
the S.
You always capitalize the S on the second part of the word.
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Well, camel case.
Okay, the copy and
Then I would do the
paste.
bracket.
Equal. Here, mommy.
So then I will put load store, or will I put like
No, after that, go outside of the brackets and write equal and then the open caret, like the greater than sign.
Yeah, it's an arrow function, T. You
Yeah.
gotta arrow function.
Here, I'm about to write it in there.
equal?
Just get off of mute. I'm gonna get on mute.
This is greater. Did I do that right? No, because I. Hello? Did I cut everybody off?
No, you good?
I'm writing it in the chat. It's not
Okay.
writing equals, it's like doing the symbol for equals.
Look,
And then the caret sign goes the opposite way, the greater than sign. But I wrote it in the chat. Oh, I didn't even finish writing it.
I got to put the curly brackets. There you go. Now in that L in load store, you got to lowercase that. Because you want the load store to look exactly like you did in the HTML so it can match up. You got to capitalize the S in store too.
not a
Just
problem.
go to your index.html, copy it, and then paste it there. And then you won't have to worry about casing or nothing because it'll be exactly what's written there.
So I would copy it or
Yeah,
just go to.
index.html, go to the go to that on click, and then just highlight all of that. Highlight load store, the whole load store.
Right here.
Yeah, from the L to the E, and then paste it in. That way you don't have to worry about the casing, the spelling, or anything. It doesn't matter at that point. You're gonna copy the actual variable. Make sure you get that L though. Make sure you get the whole thing. Yeah, if you copy and paste, you don't, it takes less stress off of guessing whether you spelled it right or misspelled it, or whatever the case. Like if I would have just copied and pasted the word headers instead of typing it, I would have missed that S. You know what I'm saying? Crying out loud. How many hours?
Or a little S though. I know you had to be
Like
true.
S, man. That S wasn't that little. It crashed my whole freaking program.
For me, man, like when we be on these screens and sharing and stuff like that, like I be trying to minimize the going back and forth between screens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
If you open it up like half it, then you don't have to go back and forth like that. You can see both screens at the same time. That's what I usually do.
that's a little harder for most people, though.
I hear you if they got small screens and stuff you're talking about.
Or just organizing everything.
Okay. So, but I will put of course I will put the council log between the curly brackets.
Yeah, so that way you can test the like Diamond was saying, you can test the function, make sure it's working. I normally put something cool in the console log, like what's up, what's up?
We'll put what is it?
That's fun.
So special, I will put clicked in the between the brackets, right?
You can put
Yeah,
whatever you
or
want.
twerk. Sorry, no. Playing.
Bounce.
Twerk it.
Yeah, crazy.
It'll be the word click too. So it'll be a string, not a variable, just as a heads up.
Do I put the four apostrophes in this?
To turn something to a string, it must be between two quotation marks, whether they single or double. Other than that, it's going to be a variable, method, something like that, property, object, blah, blah, number, blah, 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 blah.
Watch your foot, Gigi.
Whoa, slow down.
Mm.
2 errors, big errors, super errors. Get by ID already contains the document.get element by ID. That's get by ID is a function. And then document is not capital D, is lowercase d. If you're trying to use the whatever you call it, the property, document. I think document is a property. So if you're trying to use the document or object, the document object. Yeah. If you're trying to use the document object, then it's lowercase d.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to use Hamtaro, you must. And then on
I
top
was
of that,
spelled
it's
wrong.
not get by ID, it's get element by ID, and then the casing is all different. And on top of that, Crud key has a capital K, but it would be better to just copy and paste it just in case. I don't know.
Where would I copy and paste it from?
Index. So all of that stuff is in index. The get Crud key because it's in index.html. So you're trying to, what she's probably going to have you do is get the value of that input box. The value is your API key. So you want to just copy the ID Crud key.
ID
I'm gonna let them take
product text.
No, line.
It's up a little bit. Your line 340.
I said I am sorry. Oh my God.
I still ain't finished this, John. Being honest.
Sorry. It was kind of a mess last night at work. So, Okay, so when you do this, if you already typed it, like, what could you do? Like, could you just like paste it and then correct yourself?
Highlight and paste over it.
Oh. Okay.
You're not necessarily correcting per se.
Mhm.
You're just pasting. So you're literally taking what you copied and pasting over whatever you highlight. So you're not necessarily correcting, because if you paste over the wrong thing, it's going to be wrong still.
True.
It's a duplication or moving text, depending on whether you cut or copy.
Okay.
And you got to capitalize that B and that I and get by ID.
The B and I.
Mm-hmm.
There's still another error.
That
Where's
drove me
the-
crazy one day too.
The B.
Not having those I's capitalized in ID, I couldn't figure out what the error was.
There's still another error in there.
And what I just did?
Mm-hmm. Well,
This?
and on line 4, I should say, not in necessarily what you just did, but on line 4, it's still an error.
Oh, there you go.
Did I spell it wrong? Oops. That's wrong.
It don't look like you spelled it wrong. What is the get by ID function? Where is it at? What does it do? Or what are all of the properties and methods of document? Which one are you trying to use?
Oh, I put in 2. So that's what's going to give me like the red flag errors.
That's formatted properly. You're gonna get another kind of error. It's gonna be a console log error.
Oh, she said test it if I want to. Sorry. Thank you. So I got to pick which one I want to use.
Nah, I think you get a regular document, don't you?
Yeah, because it's like, because he said it's 2 functions, right? So I pick which one I want to use.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. Only because it's 11:30 and it'd be better if we got a little further. we still at like the first function. That's not like, but I just want to make sure everybody stay on track. So what I'll do from here is I'll speed us up a little and I'll share my screen and just explain what the first like few functions do. Or I'll ask the class to explain to me like what they think is happening in my code. Because I don't want to get like stuck with like syntax and like stuff like that, because we still got to get to React, and yeah, we're still in the first function.
Oh, so you want me to stop sharing?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Isaiah.
No, it's all good. It's good. So the whole process that we're doing now, it helps because it helps reinforce like what is taught in the class. But also, I'm just trying to strike a balance between like having y'all go through it and keeping us on track at the same time, because this class ends in June, and for me looking at the schedule, it's like we gotta get through this before I think we only have like 1 or 2 more classes to get through this. And there's like a lot of functions in here. So yeah, but I'm gonna help like speed up the process, and then we'll start from wherever like we'll start from the place where we left off at like last time. Well, today we'll start from there on Tuesday. So I'll share my screen real quick. So now some of my code is a little bit more like refined, because like I had time to like go through it again, but all the concepts are exactly the same. that load store button was the one that we were currently on. Now that get by ID that we was looking at, that's actually, I can actually, let me just show that real quick, just so it's so that we get rid of that confusion. So this is the get by ID here, like, and that's inside of the util folder. So basically what they were saying was you use get by ID,
Mhm.
you pass it an ID. You can pass it any ID you want, and yours was I'm not sure what, I forget which one. But either way, like, so let me go back on the be right there. So these two lines are exactly the same. Let me paste this in like this. And this is what I should have used in the course. I used this one instead. But these two lines are the same. And the reason these two lines are the same is because with the get by ID, we're actually calling a function and we're passing in the ID. So this is this parameter here. And then we pass that into here as a string. And then we're just like giving it back. We're just returning element, which is the exact same thing as this. So this part and this part turns out to be the same thing when we use get by ID. Let
So
me,
if I use that Crud key, instead of get by ID, if I put Crud key in that, then it's exactly the same.
Right.
right. I don't know why I put that there like that. I don't know why. Yeah, exactly. Thanks. But yeah, same stuff. So I'm gonna delete this quick. Actually, I'll just comment. Yeah, I'll just delete this just so we can get that out of here. And I'll just use this version since this is how it was in the course. So we doing a document.get element by ID. We pass an ID and we get the value, and that value is the, like, what value is this? Like, can someone tell me, like, what do I get into this variable?
You're putting the API key and to that Crud key.
Right, exactly. So we can see if I put these side by side. Actually, I don't need to do that. I'm gonna just search this. So Crud key is here, and so we're getting access to that HTML element, and then we're getting the value from that, which is this. So, or whatever we paste inside of there is the value. So,
Whoa, hold on. Can you go back to the?
Mhm.
You don't have the other side of the input. Usually use like input. You know what I'm saying? And your tags.
Right.
Like,
So this
yeah.
is self closing tag. That's why input. Yeah. You don't even. Yeah, I think it's optional actually. If I write it in here, yeah, it's optional. So normally self-closing could either be like this, or you put a slash at the end of this, like this. You see this
Yeah.
slash. Either way is valid.
Holy
So,
smokes. Okay. All right.
same for the image tag. It's just like the image tag. So with that img.
Sick.
Yeah. So so yeah, that this is why why it says like dot, why we're doing get value instead of like inner text, because value is the actual attribute. So yeah. So we're getting a value out of that. Why am I doing this here? Like, what is this check doing for us?
Is that to make sure that it's an API key? Because if it's not an API key at a certain length, that you won't take it. Is that what you're doing?
See if the box empty.
Right. So both are correct. So yeah, if it's not a certain length, then I won't take it. Now, if the box is empty, which Jay had pointed out, then we won't even go do anything. So if the box is empty, the length is going to be what?
0.
Right. And 0, is that true or false?
False.
Right. Exactly. So that's why it's not going to take it. So so yeah, I did some checks here that we didn't necessarily have to do, but I just did it anyway. So if this is not, so, oh, also another thing to note that I'm doing this here, like I didn't put const or let or anything like that. Like why am I leaving that part out?
So I seen a video, so I cheated a little bit, but you defined it globally.
Right. Yeah. It's, and honestly, like you saying you're cheating a little bit, like I want everybody to cheat a little bit, to be honest. If everybody can look through it and we already have an idea of how to do it, that is the best way to go about doing this from scratch. So yeah, like the way you did it, Jay, was like expected. So yeah, I defined it globally up here, and it's with the let keyword, so we know we can change it. Um,
Isn't that
so
like a isn't that like a telltale sign though if you don't see a const or a
Bar.
bar
Const
next
or
to
let.
it to look up top to see if it's global or not?
yes and no. So this didn't have to be here for me to do that. It could have just not been there. And like the reason is because whenever you don't put a let or const, it automatically becomes var. So it's not necessarily global at this point, but you can leave that keyword out altogether. So
Wow.
I would say yes, maybe it's defined above, but you should definitely check, because if you're assuming that it's global and like it was never defined globally, it's not going to be global. It's just going to be
You don't, do you have to put var in front of it, or you can just leave it there?
so for the way we have it here, we just going to leave it here because we already defined it with the let keyword. So the var keyword, we're not going to use. Like we're never going to use var because var is too unpredictable. Like,
Okay, question. With the, like, when you define it like that, why not just define it to blank or something?
I can do that. Yeah,
Why didn't you do it? Is it just to save time or space or?
I'm just lazy to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Now I could have been more lazy by doing something like this. You see how I'm doing let something. This
Uh-huh.
can all be simplified. Like this is a shortcut actually. You can put comma. You just put comma. I don't even have to put any of this stuff. Put all this stuff on one line. And this is not something I taught, but it's valid code. So all of this is the exact same thing what we just did. Whenever you put like let and then put a whole bunch of variables lined up, you're setting all of these equal to the same thing. And because we didn't set it equal to anything, all of these are going to be set to undefined. But if I was to do something like this, that means all of them is going to be set to the number one. So just
Oh,
something.
so that sets them to undefined.
Yeah, because we didn't set it to anything, so it's automatically undefined.
There you go.
Because it's not equaling nothing.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mhm.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna put it back how I had it. But yeah, I was just being lazy. That's just what it came down to. So
But like as you write in code though, you have to also think about the other side too, right? You know what I'm saying? And how somebody's gonna be receiving it and reading it and organizing it correctly so it doesn't like look stupid. You know what I mean? So somebody else can understand your code.
right, exactly. Which is why I didn't use those commas. So yeah, that's a good point, Duran. That's why I don't use those commas, because some people don't know about the syntax. They may look at it like, oh, what is that? Like even me at work, sometimes I see syntax that I've never seen before, and I gotta go and look it up before I can go to try to finish the thing. I know most people know what this is. Okay, like this is the all defined on separate lines. They don't have to go and search what this comma does. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be as descriptive as possible also, but using comments like Ja too. That
Right.
way you know.
Right. Yep. Comments are, and I did not use comments here. I should have did check if the input box is empty. It's empty. Maybe even put that like here, like before the if statement. You can get as detailed as you want, but like yeah, I would definitely use comments. If you use comments, people are gonna like appreciate it. They're gonna like your code. Like I don't use comments at work, but like I don't like, not for everything anyway. But like I'm working with people that has been doing it for like um, just as long as I am, if not longer. So they can just read it and know what I'm trying to do. But yeah, this dot link, just check to see if it's empty. And if it's not empty, we call fetch items. And let's go into fetch items and see what that does. There's a few different things here. anytime I look at code, like always just go through it and break it down like little by little. We can see there's a bunch of like crap here. Like we don't even have to worry about all of this stuff. Like at first, we just got to go line by line. We know the first thing we're using is the fetch object. The fetch function, built-in function. We know the fetch function makes API calls. Okay, cool. Since it's making an API call, I'm putting something inside of here, right? I'm putting get URL. Now I gotta go to get URL, see what that is.
It's the API key, right?
Say it again.
Nah, I'm just talking out loud. Actually, that's the API key.
Well, it's it includes the API key. So I'm pressing command right now and I'm hovering over it. It's already showing me what's inside of that function. Now I'm gonna click it and it's gonna bring me directly to the function. And we can see that the function does have the API key inside of it. So we know that what we know about fetch is that if it only takes one parameter, like it's automatically a get request because we didn't.
Question. I know this is kind of behind. Do everybody VS Code do that to show what is in the function?
It should, but I'm sure there's like some plugin that is like, so I have, so all the plugins I have on my VS Code automatically came with it. Now, if yours is the same as mine, then it should show. You should press control on your side because you have a
Windows.
But yeah, we know that fetch takes a few parameters. And if it's only taking one, it's going to take like some URL or whatever. So I should automatically expect this function to return a URL because it's in the place of where the URL is supposed to be. So if I go to this function, I can see that it does return some URL, right? And it's the same structure as before. We got crud.com API. We put the API key in there. We put the resource, which is like, I just put store. I could have put this into a variable like Jay did. And honestly, it would have been better if I put this into a variable. That way I can make this more like dynamic. I can like change the resource if I wanted to. And I put the ID here, right? Can somebody tell me what this is? Like, what is this syntax telling us? We know that we're passing in a parameter, right?
And the default value is blank.
Exactly. So this function has optional parameters. Like it has an optional parameter, just one. This ID is optional. Whether you want to pass it or not is up to you. We can see that we didn't pass it in down here. We didn't pass in anything down here. And when you don't pass in anything, just like Jay was saying, this is the default. It defaults to an empty string if you don't pass in nothing. So I'm using this like trick that you can like use with functions to make this URL more dynamic. Like we're able to change it. Like we can either add the ID or just not add it at all. And if we don't add it at all, it's going to include everything here and it's going to leave out the ID part because it's just going to default to an empty string, which is just that. So we'll have all of this stuff. So yeah, we didn't pass in some URL. So the only thing we're expecting to get back is this stuff right here. Now with URLs, like it can end in like this slash here, and that slash is just going to be ignored. So this is literally the same as this. These two lines are the same thing with that slash and without that slash. The other thing to note is we're passing in the API key. We define the API key globally up here, which is why I did it globally. I could have did this differently, but like I put it globally here and I'm just passing in like that. Now the other way I could have did this was just to like dissect this a little bit more. I could have passed in API key into here and then just use the parameter as the API key. And I could have did resource here. That way I can access more than just one resource in Crud. We one database, I should say. Like we define, like there's a store database in crud.com because we put store as resource. But now we can say we want store, maybe we want like I don't know, shelf, maybe we want like employees if we want to start storing employee names or whatever. Like this makes it more dynamic. Now we can change this URL whenever we use it. And this is the preferred way, to be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to how it was, so I won't go too far off the path. So this is where it was at here. We call this inside of the fetch, the get request, which is here. We're making a get request, obviously. So let me comment some of this stuff out. I'm just gonna put a debugger here. Actually, I'll put that back. I'll put a debugger here, and I'll put a debugger. I'll put one here as well. Let me open this up. Actually, let me get rid of these. I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna do this the way in the browser. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna try to avoid putting debugger in the actual code because you can't always do that whenever you're on a job. You have to actually go in here to do it. So I'm gonna go.
Why is that?
I was just gonna ask that question.
Yeah, good question. And I should have told y'all as soon as I mentioned it. So we have access to the code, right? But when you on a job, sometimes like the only sometimes it's online. You know what I mean? Like if I go to whatever, like google.com, if I was to try to fix a bug there, like I can't put the code on my computer to try to fix it. I have to physically go into the code on google.com and try to debug it there. Like this is all of their code here. It's a bunch of
Oh my gosh.
stuff. So if you're trying to debug something that's already online, then you have to go through to their code. Let me see if yeah, they have a JavaScript file. So I can go to their JavaScript file and just start debugging. All this stuff is commented out. Obviously, somebody need to clean up this code. This is messy, real messy. Google. I don't know what they was. This would have never went down if I was.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And they using VAR still.
Yeah, they is drawing with this. Like this is not.
I even know they messed up.
Yeah.
That's probably why they commented it out, because they
Yeah.
using VAR and they updated.
Right.
Right. Like this is not.
Then right. I know they messed up. I
Come
mean,
on.
that's bad because if I
Yeah.
know it, it's horrible.
Yeah. But I can put debuggers here, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I can debug their stuff if I wanted to. But either way, I'm gonna do it from here. So you can do it two ways. You can either go to source and start like going through. Let me put this down here. Okay. You have to go to source and then go through here and then go through all the files. But the better way to do this, because sometimes there's like a million files, you can press on Macs, you press Command P. And on Windows, you press Control P. And then you can start typing the file, the name of the file that you want. And then you can just click on it and it brings you right to the file. It don't even matter which tab you want. If I'm in the Elements tab, I'm gonna just do Command P and it searches everything. I want to go to store.js.
Pushing P.
So yeah, so this is store. Oh, also just a quick note before I forget. Y'all was trying to figure out how T was getting the console inside of the Elements tab. It's automatically in there. Like if you is it? I thought it was automatically in there.
Yeah, I meant to tell them that's just how mine came. I didn't do anything, honestly. That's just how it came.
Mine should be in here. I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
It should have been already.
Uh-oh.
Let me see if I can. I don't even know. Let me not get too far off track, but sometimes it's automatically in there. I don't know why it's not there now. But anyway, Command P, I'm going to store.js. I'm going to click that, opens up the file inside of source tab automatically. And I'm going to go down to, I'm going to just start from here, actually, just so we can start from the very beginning. Put that debugger and let's start going through this. So projects. Low store. Hold up. Why did not, that didn't hit the debugger? That is odd. Let me refresh this. I know sometimes it doesn't pick up on some of this stuff. Okay, yeah, I guess it just didn't pick up. Sometimes dev tools have bugs, but yeah. Now we hit it. We got access to the value. The value is here. The length is greater than 0. So we're gonna go through, because that's gonna be true. I'm gonna go to fetch items. I'm gonna press this downward arrow to go inside of that function. Now we in here. I'm gonna put a debugger here. Put one here as well. But yeah, if I press this down arrow right away, it's gonna automatically go inside of the get URL function, because it follows, excuse me, it follows the order. It follows a certain order. So this, whatever is more inside is going to get executed first. So if I click that, go here, bam, we didn't supply a ID. ID is on default to the empty string. If I press this button here, we see the return value, which is that URL. Let me zoom out so we can see. Can barely even see it, but this is that URL here. We'll press this button. And this button right here, this step button and this step over button, a lot of the times they do the exact same thing. But like this step button gives us like a smaller step. Like sometimes this thing will skip some stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna do this. This turns into the URL. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hit play and it's gonna stop at one of these. So we made that request. It came back with that readable string. And then, so data, yeah, readable string. Okay, so now we're gonna do JSON.then to convert it to an actual object. And did not stop at my debugger. I think the dev tool is just messing up again, because we definitely made that request. We can see it here in the network tab. Let me just do that again. Store.js. I'm gonna just put here, one here, and just get rid of that other one, just so we can go straight to that line. Okay, so we went straight to the line now, and we can see that we have nothing inside our database right now, obviously, because I didn't add anything yet. Now we're doing a few things. The number of products on the shelf. Before I get there, we know that I should have had that PDF open, but we know that whenever we start adding stuff to the shelf, one of the restrictions is that we can only have 4 things on the shelf. We can't have more than 4. That's just like a restriction we have. So we're checking, like we're setting num products on shelf to the number of like things on the shelf. We want to keep track of that number. So that's what we're doing. We don't have anything in the database. It's just 0. So yeah, you want to say something, Duran?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. So then, yeah, it's almost 12 also, but then we go to populate the shelf next. This is us just filling up the shelf, and we'll go like I'll just say what these are doing and not go inside of them because for the lack of time. But this is supposed to populate the shelf. Y'all can do this part on Tuesday. This populate shelf function. And then we're basically hiding things. We're gonna hide a few things on the screen, and we're gonna show a few things on the screen. And these functions right here, hide element by ID, that function, I'm gonna just do a quick find. For the shortcut, I literally did Command-Shift-F, and it's gonna do a global search for all of the projects. So if I click here, we can see that it's here. Hide by ID. We're doing get by ID. We pass an ID. We have the class list.add, and we're adding a class of display none. Display none that class is actually in the CSS file. So I just searched display none. I put a dot right there because I know it's a class, and it brought me right to the file. If I go here, we can see that class gives us a display none CSS rule. So if we add it, we remove it from the screen. If we remove it, then we add it back to the screen. So in this case, we're when we show it, we're removing it from the item. And when we hide it, we want to add that CSS rule so that it can get rid of it. So we're gonna, let me go back here and press this button. So this should hide something. And I'm literally going into every single function here. I'm just gonna press this step over. That's what I meant by like this step button going going into like extra steps. We'll press this so we can go to the next line. So that hides something. This is going to hide something else. So you got that button went away. This is going to show something, and this may take some time to show. Yeah, it's going to take some time to show. Whenever I hit play, it's going to show. And this is going to set the help text to select product. Help text is on this side. See, select the product. I'm gonna hit play, and then these chips is going to show here because this showed whenever we pressed show element by ID. So it's 12:02. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this code. Yeah, we'll start from these two functions next time, and then we'll start like defining. We'll start setting up all of these functions inside of here. Populate shelf, hide element by ID, show element by ID, and help text. These would be the ones. We may not even do populate shelf. We may even do these ones first. And then, yeah, on Tuesday. And then on Sunday, we'll finish this up. I'll take over probably like halfway through so we can like go through it. And I do suggest just going through the video because when I take over on Sunday, like I'm gonna like run through it. You know what I mean? So, and you can just ask questions as you go. But yeah.
So I got a question if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll put it back. Yeah. Cool.
Your that data.json, I seen you remove that at some point in your code. And I think it was when you were making a because you only have to use JSON to put and JSON to post. I believe are the only two times you're sending a payload. So you just, yeah, that whole thing just kind of confused me a little bit. Like I said, fetch is like the bane of my existence. So I'm trying to.
So this is what I would look at, right? So when we're using this JSON, right? The only thing we're doing is we're trying to see the information that comes back. Like they give us back some kind of information. Let me go to the place where I don't use JSON.
It was an update, I believe.
So delete.
I mean, I'm sorry, delete. Yeah.
All right. So when we delete it, right? Like I'm not even sure if they even give us back any data, to be honest. Like this data comes back from their side. When you make a delete request, they may not even give us back anything. Let me double check this. And even if they do give us back something, we don't need to wait. We don't need to convert this to a we don't need to convert, yeah, to an object. To an object to go on about our business or whatever. It's like, okay, once it gets inside of this thin, it's already deleted. You know what I mean? So let's just we just literally just hold on. Where? Yeah, I literally just loaded the store again. Like it was deleted. Let me just load the store again. And when we load the store, we basically refresh the page where we're doing this whole thing over again. Load store, fetch items, and then we're getting all the items that's already there and putting it on the screen. So it's just doing a refresh. But let me press delete real quick. Did I put a debugger there? Let me take that out. I'm just gonna put the debugger here. Delete. So just put fetch actually. Fetch. Here we go. I'm gonna put this debugger here, and we'll just go about and try to delete it. So I hit delete. Okay. So this is an actual readable stream. So we could do that data.json dot whatever.
Mm.
We can do it, but we just don't need to. So
So you just took that mug out of there.
right. And honestly, we don't need to do it on a post either. Whenever we post, like, because I'm not even sure if we even do anything with that data. Hold on, I think I just skipped it. Post is here. Yeah, we don't need to do this here. We need to get rid of this because we don't use this at all. Once it gets out this, then it automatically is going to post, and we're just gonna call load store. This same thing is going to work.
Wow.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah,
Yeah,
did not make that as clear, but yeah, that's the only reason I'm doing it.
fetch is different, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm stuck on it so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, we don't even need that. Yeah, if you don't need the data, don't even wait for it. Like we needed it inside of the fetch because we need these items. We need the data that's back. We
Yeah,
need
right,
all that stuff to come back to populate the shelf, basically. And we don't need it in the put. We don't even need it in the put request either. I'm not even sure if we even got JSON. Yeah, we only use it one time here. Okay. So this is what I should have did, honestly. Good question though. Let me see if there's anything in the chat.
I do have a question.
Yeah, what's the question?
Hey, could you kind of go over that resource? You were saying making things more dynamic with the API key.
Yeah.
And you were adding another couple different resources. Can you go over that one more time?
Yeah. So let me do this, right? I'm going to take a URL2 and if we was to pass in a resource, I'm just gonna console log this just so that we can see like this happen in action. Log. So if I pass in a resource, let's even default that to empty string and put resource here. API key, let's pass that one in. We're going to default that to an empty string. Actually, I'll just default that to 1, 2, 3, just to do something a little different. So this defaults to 1, 2, 3. This defaults to an empty string. This defaults to an empty string. I'm going to save this and I'm going to go to the browser and I'm going to just mess around with it real quick. Let me refresh. Take this out. So what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna call that function. What was it? Get URL2. Get URL2. We know it takes 3 things. We can even see that here. API key. You see these question marks? That means optional. Like anytime you see question mark, that means optional. So it automatically know that these are optional because they have default values. So I'm not gonna pass in nothing, right? And this is what it comes out to be. Now, if I start passing in stuff, let's say ABC as the API key, because that's the first parameter. Now this URL changed from 1, 2, 3 to ABC. And this is what I mean by dynamic. We're able to use the same function to get different outputs depending on what we're passing in. If I pass in a different
okay.
Pass an employee. Yeah, I want to save some employees or something to a database. Then we got the resource.
Okay, so that's three different databases of information that you're accessing basically with that one.
Well, it's so that's an ID. So with this, so every database is the resource. So this means that we can do an infinite amount of databases. We can change this value to whatever we want, and we can have a whole bunch of different databases up in Crud. So Shelf could be one. or whatever you want to name it, salary, you know, however you want to do it. So yeah, dynamic just literally just means use the same thing to get different outputs. We got salary here.
Yeah. And then just pass them in the parameter for what you want to access, basically.
Right. Yeah. And this is important to concept to get, because we do this a lot. Like this is very common. They're gonna say, like we was literally just training somebody on a job, and we were like, and she was trying to ask us how to do it. And we're like, okay, we want it to do this, but make it dynamic. Like, and we'll just stop at that. Like, and like we expect her to know, okay, like this function just doesn't just do one thing. Depending on what I pass it in, we can do other stuff. And when we make functions like this, we help ourselves out by like reusing the same code over and over. Like I could have very well made a whole bunch of functions and just passed in a whole bunch of resources. But since we know that this function can do the exact same thing depending on what you pass in, like it's easier, and like you write in less code. So this is the alternative. It's like no one wants to see the same code over and over again. Basically, store. Hold on, I definitely messed this up. It's P store on the other side, but y'all get the point. It's supposed to be store here. So, oh wait, store employee. Employee. Yeah, I definitely messed this one up too. This is supposed to be API feature. This is me talking and writing at the same time. Shelf. Yeah, store employee shelf, and it's like get stored URL, get URL for store, get the URL for the employee, get the URL for the shelf. Let's just put it all in one function and just do the same, and just make the output based off of the input, the parameters that you pass in.
Like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So it's best to piece things out as much as possible and make them as dynamic as possible. That's kind of the goal of code for the most part.
Yeah, you want to be as dynamic as possible. Wherever it makes sense, obviously, because we know,
Exactly.
you know, make it work first, then make it readable, then make it efficient. And the efficient part comes with being dynamic, but it's still got to be readable. So yeah. Don't go too crazy with it. Don't throw in like 20 parameters and like, oh yeah, you got all these if statements. If like, nah, that's going to make stuff way more confusing if you do that. But I have seen that before, but like just
Good practice.
not
Don't
cool.
do
Yeah.
it.
All right. Yeah. Any other questions? Comments?
I'm having a hard time with fetch, man. I don't know why. It's just so, I don't know. The idea, the syntax is just throwing me off, man.
Yeah. And I mean, you know what it does though. So, and that's all that really matters. Like it makes API calls. The syntax is going to change. Like when we get to React, we're not using fetch anymore. We're going to use something called Axios. And Axios is another JavaScript function that does the same thing fetch does, but Axios is better. Like this whole data.json piece, Axios does that behind the scenes. So you do a dot then and you automatically get the data out. You don't even have to do this JSON like unnecessary step right here. And that's what I don't like about fetch. But Axios is what we're gonna do.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and Axios takes different types of parameters. Like it takes the same stuff, but it's in a different order. Like how you put, all you gotta know is what it does, and then like you can look up how to put the parameters in there.
So then in that case, like, is there any situations where fetch is better, or can I pretty much just use Axios wherever I use fetch?
Yeah. So good question. Fetch is built in, right? Now I shouldn't have said Axios is a built-in function because it's not actually. So Axios is code that somebody else wrote. So when we get to React, right, you see how I got this utils JS folder or whatever, and we're using stuff in here in other JavaScript files. What we're gonna do when we get to React, we're gonna bring in code that other people wrote. Like we don't even need to write everything anymore, and we bring it in as like a package or like a group of code. We just gonna dump it into our code, and then any functions or anything like that that they have in their code, we can use it in our code now. And actually, it's one of those things. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like in their code. It's gonna look like this, Axios, and it's gonna have some stuff in there. And we can read this stuff. We can see what they wrote in there, but they tell us how to write it. Like they tell us how to structure everything in their documentation. So yeah, when we start doing that, and that's why when you start using React is better, because you don't have to write everything. Like you just look it up. You look up the code that somebody else wrote already. They thought about all of the scenarios. They didn't there's no bugs in their code. You're literally just using their code or whatever. So
Who may React? Is this community based?
yeah, it's community. Yeah. Now I'm not sure who the actual owner is, but that's a good question. It's called open source, and anything
Okay.
open source you can go and if you see a bug in like React or whatever, you can go and change the code. You can make a request to change the code, and they can accept your request, and then you're a contributor to the framework. So like yeah, so
Your name goes down in history forever.
yeah, exactly. You can put on your resume, hey, I contributed to this or whatever, and it looks really good because it says that you really do this for real. Now, have I ever done it? No, because I just don't care to do it. I wait for somebody else to do it, and then I use what they got, but I'm not about to yeah.
Damn. So would you basically be doing like a get put post request to to that database basically?
Yeah, with Axios, yes.
With React basically. If you was trying to debug it basically, and if you're trying to change the code, it would be a put request to update it, right?
It should be a put request because remember, like it depends. So what kind of request? It is dependent on the server that you're calling. Like we're calling Crud. A put request to them means update. By convention, is update. But I say that because not everybody follows those rules. So
Gotcha.
whatever they can say, it's like that's what you use. Even if they say do a get request to delete something, now, obviously that's wrong. But if that's how it works on their end, then that's how that works. So
Got you.
yeah. Um,
Hey guys, I'm about to hop off. So peace, love, and positivity to everybody. Have a good week. See you on Tuesday.
for sure.
Catch you later, Deron.
See you.
Easy, man.
See y'all on Tuesday.
See you.
See you on Tuesday. All right, well, and then there were 5.
Any other questions from anybody?
I think that's pretty much it. So with my code,
Yeah.
should I just, I don't know. I wanted to, you know me, I want to just code it just straight from the blank page, but you did so many cool little things. I wouldn't have done. I was about to get ready to do that, but even me switching the ID on these divs automatically like boxed me into a corner. Like it literally threw me into a corner because I can't have 2 divs or 2 divs with the same ID. Like
Yeah.
I tried that. Go ahead.
What you was explaining to me earlier, like what you did is not like it's hacky. It's like a hack. Never want to like all those tricks. Let's switch this out and like that's an example of like hacky code. And then like I think a good indicator of what's hacky code is stuff that takes somebody else to explain it to you. Like you had to physically explain, okay, I'm doing this to switch the ID and then tell them put it back, and it's like it's more complicated than it's supposed to be. And honestly, you switching IDs, that's not a good practice.
Mhm.
I can see so many bugs just coming with that. Like, imagine if somebody put some CSS to that ID and you switching IDs, and now you switch ID and it's like you could potentially see like the screen change to like different CSS depending on what the ID is on, and like it's just too much stuff that can be affected. Or other JavaScript code could be like referencing that same ID. And if somebody put code that reference the ID and then your code is switching IDs up, it just interferes with their code because they didn't know that you had put
Which
this
the ID.
this switch in place. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think a good rule of thumb is do not change the HTML.
Yeah.
Don't change the HTML. Just
Right.
leave it the same.
Yeah. Don't change the HTML. Don't change the CSS.
Yeah,
You saw
yeah.
how I was done with the JavaScript. I'm like removing classes and adding them back, but the
Mhm.
CSS is still the same. So classes you can like add and remove, but IDs I would never. I would never mess with the IDs. But it's kind of weird to even like say that. It's like I can change the class, but I can't change the ID. But like that's just what people normally do nowadays. We change their classes up. It's common.
No, it makes sense. When you made the ID the picture, that's why I automatically was like, oh shoot, I gotta start manipulating the IDs because the ID is tied to a picture. And the only way I can get the picture is by changing the ID. I didn't think about changing the background to the actual PNG.
Yeah, you talking about for like those different items, right?
Exactly, for the chips, sandwich, apple, and juice. Like I didn't think about that. So I was like, oh shoot, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so the IDs for those, yeah, it's just chips, juice, whatever. You're saying like the ID that comes back from the database, or like these physical IDs in the
Yeah,
HTML?
I changed those physical IDs. So I changed it to placeholder and
Okay.
then switched selected price ID to chips or juice or whatever. I had it variable. Then when I chose whatever I needed to, like when I hit the add button to add, then I had it switch back. So I changed it back to, the regular how it's supposed to be. Like I reset everything and put it back how it's supposed to be. So then it changes back to selected price and the back to choose chips, juice, chips, or sandwich or apple.
Okay.
So I switched, literally I switched them and then I switched them back. It took me a minute to figure out on some Newton, but I figured out how to do something that was hackable.
Yeah. Good thing is that like you're actually like trying to hack, because it takes you to hack to know what's hack, what hack even means. Like, and honestly, like it shows that like you're able to like creatively solve a problem. It's like, okay, I can't solve it this way. Let's try to solve another way or whatever. And sometimes like we have to put hacks in the code, and we'll say it like if I knew something was a hack, I'll be like, this is a hack. Or I'll be like, yeah, like, I'll put a to do, and this somehow didn't go over either. When you put to do, this means something inside comments. To do, like change this later, whatever. Like sometimes like listen, we just gotta fix this now and figure out how to fix it properly later on. Because like the website is down now. We losing money now. Like throw that hack in there, come back later and fix that. So
throw that young hack up in there.
yeah.
Let's get this thing up and then we can start taking our time later.
Right. So
Yeesh.
yeah, you didn't even you just started from scratch then. Like you didn't even go through, like you just completely like
blank screen.
Yeah. That's good that you're doing it that way. I mean, it takes longer, but it's you get more out of it. Like obviously, like so.
Yeah, that's why I did it, because I mean I can watch the videos I can pretty much follow what you did. I can read almost everything properly. So it's like, okay, I get it.
Mhm.
But now I want to actually try to see if I could do it with no help. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to take the training wheels off the bike. But
Right. Right.
yeah, I fell into a bush, so I need to put the mugs back on right quick.
I mean,
ain't
you
quite
can-
ready for the 2-wheeler yet.
No, I think you good, honestly. I mean, continue with your solution if you want, or you can just think up a different way to do it or whatever. Like you don't even have to go through the video, to be honest, because you're at the point where it's like you're already like you're the main one talking in the class. I can tell that you already know what you're doing. Yeah, you don't even have to go through it. Honestly, like I wanted to get everybody to a point where they wasn't looking at the videos at all. But like not everybody um either think the same or put in the same amount of work. Um so but yeah, you're good. It's really up to you if you have time to do it or not. Just
Oh,
go
I
through.
did. I already got my certificate and everything, man. I'm shit.
You
I
already,
watched the video with Naya.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to, because I'm sure, like, dude, I'm trapped in the corner. Like, you can't have two divs with the same HTML. I looked it up and it was like your HTML is invalid. I was like, oh shoot. So how am I gonna show the shelved product? Like, that's impossible. So I was thinking, I was already getting ready to, like, okay, I have to add the product in somehow. I have to add the update button. I have to add the delete button classes in there. I have to add a class for the actual product that I'm putting on there. I thought you had it set up to where you couldn't duplicate products, to where you had to have just like one chip on one apple or whatever the case is. And if you was to click something, then you will automatically update it. So like if I had to add the price to it, instead of, I would have to calculate that in my head, then put that value in there. Like if I wanted to buy 2 bags of chips or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought you were doing based on the pictures. So I was like, okay, cool. I would put my product down there. And then if the update button was pressed, then cool. If you end up adding the same product, then it would just end up updating the product that you had before. So you would have to just put in multiples of whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely simplified it by not putting that restriction in. Like you can put chips for however you want to, the same chips cost
Yeah.
something different every time. I really was going to put that restriction in there, but I was like, honestly, like the goal is to teach like get requests, post requests, put requests, like
Mhm.
create, read, update, delete. That was the goal. So I didn't want to complicate it with more like logic. Yeah, but yeah, I see what you're saying, but that would definitely be more involved. Maybe you can even go through it and like make a do it that way to make it better. Like, um,
Mm.
there's definitely room for improvement in a few of these apps. Seriously, because I just did not want to complicate it for people. So
No, that's honestly, I think the way you did it was a little bit better, because like I said, I'm a newbie, and it would have been way easier to just go ahead and be able to add as many on there. But like I said, I'm blank paging it. I'm trying to become like you, man. When I grow up, I know it's gonna take me like 1,000 years, but this is year one, so
yeah, yeah. Good momentum. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Um, yeah, I think you're good though. So
Oh.
I don't know if you already started applying to jobs, but I think it's probably a good idea to start applying.
Go. Nah. So my current job is actually. Oh, first off, thank you. That is that's extremely high praise. Or at least that's how I'm taking it. Even if it ain't, that's extremely high praise. I
To
appreciate
get a
that.
job, like I can't say the same for everybody, and that's just me being like
Realistic.
yeah, realistic, exactly. Like you have enough knowledge to pass the interview. Um, but like if we can't do and this is something I need to this is recorded. I'm hoping everyone look at this to the end. Or I'll just gotta talk to the class separately about this. Like if we can't rate like um arrow functions, like no difference, like know how to write it. Like
Yeah.
during class, like we shouldn't be write write equal sign, write a parentheses, like that stuff we should already know how to do. We should already know how to write variables. We should already know how to write if statements. Like this stuff is supposed to already been done or whatever. And if you can't do that, then there's no way that you're gonna pass an interview. Like there's no possible way. Because they're gonna ask you to write something and they're gonna actually write it not on your computer, like on like a whiteboard. So there's no correction. There's
Oh
no
shoot.
it's like there's none of that stuff. It's a whiteboard problem. And it's like they expect you to write as your syntax almost perfect. Now they know that it's gonna be errors here and there. But if you don't know how to write the syntax, you can't on a board, like on paper or whatever. That's why I tell everybody write it on paper before you do it. My camera went out, but yeah, if you can't do that, then there's no possible way that like somebody's gonna put you through. And even if you can do that, that's not guaranteed that it's not a guarantee that you're gonna be the one to get through, even if you can write the syntax. So yeah,
Yeah, you got to try to at least put yourself as far ahead as possible.
yeah. Like you come across somebody that got the exact same skills as you, the exact same knowledge as you, it's only gonna take one small thing to differentiate y'all, and that's the person they're gonna pick. So you always want to go above and beyond. You always want to know as much as possible, especially because we're Black, and
I was just gonna say that.
that's just being realistic. Like they automatically assume that we don't know what we're doing, and like I got some stories about JP Morgan. I had to put somebody in their place because they try to act like I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, nah, like that's not about to go down or whatever. Um, and I end up making an enemy, and like I just didn't care. It's like nobody's gonna treat me like I don't know what I'm doing. But I mean, everybody's gonna get to that point. But yeah, especially being Black, gonna look at you like you don't know what you're doing. So
So I got a couple more questions. One question is, did Jasmine get the resume?
I don't think she did, but I'll ask her and see.
Okay, because I actually sent it.
Yeah, I'll let her know that you sent it or whatever, and I'll message you on LinkedIn or whatever whenever she go to do it. But yeah, she's like calling people like all day, like on her job to ask them. So I think she may ask the person to um submit the thing
Application.
online. Yeah, and then she'll just go through and whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see what she.
No, I just wanted to make the link. So she, you know what I'm saying, take her time. No rush, no big deal, nothing like that. I just want to make sure everything went through properly. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let her know. I'll let her know for sure.
Yeah. And then the second one was about the cohort. Is that going to be the exact same thing as this? Are you starting from the beginning, or is that for the next phase, the React phase?
Start from the beginning. I keep forgetting to tell the class that in person. Like I need y'all to to get people to sign up if y'all know people or whatever. Yeah, it's from the beginning. It's from the beginning. So yeah, it's gonna start off like HTML. I know it's gonna be it's gonna be like a repeat or whatever. But good thing is that you're gonna catch some stuff that you didn't see before.
I was just gonna say that.
Like and honestly, y'all can like I can even start putting together like roles or whatever. Like maybe even some of y'all can be like teacher assistants or whatever. And like the more people, Duran had mentioned that he wanted to do that in the beginning of this class. I'm not sure if you were here when he was like saying it. But yeah, he was saying it and it was like in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. If I had a team of people that already knew the stuff that could just serve as teacher assistants, they can put that on their resume that they're a teacher assistant with Black IO, and I can vouch for y'all as y'all first dev job. Once you get your first dev job, the second dev job is easy. So a lot easier to get. The first one is always the hardest. So yeah, either y'all can come back, be teacher assistants, or just join the class as normal, or however you want to do it. And we're definitely going to do React also. And I'm gonna try to get to React faster. Like that's my goal, is to get to that, be more efficient with it, to get to it at a faster pace so that we can dump something at the end of it, like an additional like thing or whatever. So Like even last class before this one didn't get to React. We planned on getting there, but we didn't. But I made it more efficient by having an online course, and now we're able to get to React. So
Let's go.
Yeah.
Development.
yeah, just make it better. Every iteration it's gonna
Yeah.
be better and better. So
Yeah. As iterative processes are. Come on now.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. So in that case, happy convergence. And I think that's all I got.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. Yeah.
I'll head out and I'll see everyone on Tuesday.
All right, see you on Tuesday.